A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the show today. It promises to be exciting as always. I'm here, me, Adebayo. Well, on the show today, we will be giving you a slice of table tennis and talking about the quest to get on the train on the flight to Paris, as the case may be. We're talking about table tennis and, of course, Nigerian players seeking to get into Paris. We'll also be talking about the Nigerian National League. We're going to have a robust conversation around what is going to happen in a few weeks' time. We will also talk about the English Premier League, what is happening with Manchester United and Chelsea. It will get our attention on the show tonight. All right, and so that's the outlook of the show for today. It's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okonakpan is suited and ready.
What a great taste to you, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed world of sports. In England, we're getting ready for the final day of the Premier League. The title race is going down to the wire. Will it be Arsenal or Manchester City? It's been 20 years since the Invincibles lifted the Premier League trophy. Can the gods of football do it for Arsenal on Sunday? We'll wait to see. And yes, the chase to go to Paris for table tennis. I'm looking forward to see what Team Nigeria can do. Edem Offiong in the mix. Olajide Omotayo also in the mix. I think they've got the quality to pick tickets to the Olympics, but what will happen afterwards is what we don't know. We'll wait to see as we talk about these and many more on the show tonight.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Just before we go on, let's quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Bolu Omoni joins us now. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good evening. The Premier League is getting crazy and crazy, and the final weekend is definitely going to be tough. Battle for top four, battle for Europa League, and probably the UEFA Conference. And I like how NNL Super 8 is getting loads of attention this time around. And I even love more that I have soft spot for any club that comes from Lagos, either men or women's for one. We have two. I would love both of them to qualify. So having 3 league teams in Lagos would definitely be interesting. But good to be on this beautiful Thursday evening. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting ride.
All right, let's start with table tennis, and that's our first port of call on the show tonight. And just like I said, the quest to get to Paris is what we get us talking. The race to secure tickets to the 2024 Olympic Games begins as the African qualification tournament gets on the way in Kigali. That's the capital of Rwanda. 26 men and 24 women from these countries: Algeria, Cameroon, Congo, Brazzaville, Cote d'Ivoire, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Morocco, Madagascar, Mauritius, Tunisia, Uganda, and host Rwanda will clash over a 3-day competition. 6 players, 3 men, 3 women, will proceed to the Paris Olympic Games. They will emerge from the qualifiers taking place in the biggest indoor arena in East Africa. And just like Austin said, Nigeria's Olajide Omotayo will face a stiff challenge from Wassim Esid of Tunisia. You also have Offiong Edem also will be facing Sarah Amfu from Cameroon, and also a lady from Tunisia. So it's poised to be a great tournament, and of course an opportunity to be in Paris is within grasp. And all the best to the athletes gunning for positions in Team Nigeria. Let's quickly take some reactions as these athletes prepare. That will come back to talk about what's likely going to happen and what's the likely people to get the chance to make Paris.
So Olympics is the master of all games, and if we go back in history, Olympics, bring solidarities between countries, and that's been in existence for a long time.
It is very important for me because only one time Mauritius has been qualified for the Olympics, so why not me the second time? So I will try my best to be qualified.
It's very important. It's my first time this competition. And the Olympic Games is very important. It's the big events, and I try to qualify.
Important because the last one I lose because I'm nervous. Now I get experience. I have experience, so I take the matches one by one.
It's the first time I play qualification for Olympics, and it means a lot for me because the Olympics is in Paris, and it's like home for me. It's 5 minutes from my house, the Olympic Village, so it would mean everything to qualify here.
This Olympic qualification is very special for me because it's going to be my last one. I'm retiring just after this tournament, so 30 years of table tennis. As you may know, I also grew up in France. My mother is French and my father is from Cameroon, so I mean, participating in Olympic Games in Paris is very special for me, playing in front of my family and friends. It could be a full cycle for me and a good way to retire, so I'm really looking forward to it.
It's a dream to do the qualifications because this is my second time. I did the other one in Tunisia, 2020, and unfortunately I couldn't be qualified for. So yeah, it's a little bit stressful because it's a lot of burden, and not anyone can get this opportunity to do even the qualifications for your country. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult because it's tough. It's one of the best players are here to qualify, and yeah, it's the Olympics. It's not any other competition.
It's so special. You cannot compare Olympics with any competition in the world. I've played all the competition in the world. I play World Championships. I play all. I've been Olympic already, so I know the experience that I got.
I want to qualify this Olympic game to go to France and go and play the Olympic Games there.
I'm happy to play this tournament because it's the first in my life I play this tournament. So I'm so happy because this tournament increases my level in playing table tennis. If I see the pro playing, motivate me.
All right. From what you've heard and from what you've seen, it's not going to be easy. 6 places up for grabs and cross-section of players, male, female, speaking about their aspirations and their desire to be in Paris. And of course, we will be hoping the ones representing Team Nigeria will get those slots on offer. And so, Austin, you've already talked about the usual suspects, and we're just hoping that they will get those slots.
Yeah, for players, you know, looking for tickets, no problems with Aaron Quadri, no problems for me with Olajide Omotayo. He's a quality player, top notch all day, every day. If he gets into his beast mode, he can beat anybody. Tricky tie for Edem Ofyong in Sarah Hamfu. I've watched Sarah play a lot of times against Olufunke Oshanaike, and she's got a lot of quality. She's been doing this for 30 years. That's experience in the bag also. And you listen to her say she would like to do this one for the last time and then retire, and then it's going to Paris. So she will have, you know, some home support because her family is there also. So that is already doing some good things to her mental strength, to her confidence. But before coming on the show, I just sent Edem Ofyong a message. I said, look, I know it's nothing to you. You can go out there and, you know, beat Sarah, you know. And I know Edem Ofyong, when she's actually in a mood, she can get it done. So no pressure with those 3 names I've mentioned. Fatima Bello, she has also shown that she can grow, that she can be consistent. And I must commend her progress. So Fatima Bello can also ensure that Nigeria gets those 4 representatives at the Olympics for table tennis. So let's see. I spoke to her after the Commonwealth Games, and she said, look, she'd like to do it again and again on the international scene. And this is another opportunity for her to put those words into action. So yes, I'm rooting for Team Nigeria 100%. We have both table tennis in Africa, but for not getting the sort of attention that Egypt has been getting, Egypt or no other country in Africa should even come close to Nigeria when we're talking about table tennis. And they've got a legend by the corner in Segun Toriola now. So it's double motivation and experience for Team Nigeria. Segun will be telling them the things to do. He has already led Aaron Quadri to a trophy just last week, and the country is celebrating. So we just hope that that celebration will continue for Team Nigeria as they seek to pick tickets to the Paris Olympics.
All right, Bolu, your thoughts? I mean, Austin has said everything practically. I mean, what is left is just to hope that it's 4-4 for Nigeria.
And hopefully they get that, especially the team. Remember what Egypt has used Nigeria high to see in tournaments and everything. But the guys like Austin Riley mentioned are not newbies in tournament. Talking about Fionga, Bello, same thing with Olajide. Olajide, I think, was one of the few Africans that broke in the top 100 in the world rankings. It just show how brilliant he is in his level. Hopefully they get to pick up all this. It means anytime we're competing for anything, pick everything. Let's go. Remember the relays, everything as well. So pick every possible ticket. The more athletes you have at the Olympic Games, the better chances of going far and probably winning medals as well. So hopefully they do well. Shegun Aruna Kodi winning recently, I think a few days ago, should be a motivation to them. Like Austin Riley said, having Shegun Torela behind them is also a bigger motivation for them to do well. And I think we should also learn as well from what the Ghanaians, I think Rwandans did. If you see the representative, young guys, probably teenagers, or maybe I think those guys are even teenagers. It shows they've been grooming the young lads. People talk about how do we keep having Torela for years? Why do we still have Oshinaka? I tell them, well, these men will not hand over easily. So hopefully we begin to plan for the near future. But for this one here, I'll be excited if you pick it 4-4.
All right, that's where the hope lies. Let's move on from table tennis now and talk about football on the domestic scene. The Nigerian National League gets our attention now. And of course, we were talking about, do we call it the Super 8, Final 4, whichever way you want to call it. I'm going to go across the screen and talk about it. But this is just to let you know, we're going to have a robust conversation around what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time, where 4 teams from the 2 conferences, Northern and Southern Conference, will slug it out right there in Enugu. But first, let's just let you know what's going to happen as I go across the screen to look at the teams as they will be slugging it out. Final 4 teams. Let's start with the Northern Conference. Bolu, you have Nasarawa United, Abuja Sporting Supreme, Sokoto United, and El Kanemi Warriors. 4 teams from the Northern Conference. Let's flip and take a look at the Southern Conference. You have, just like Bolu said, Inter Lagos, Ikorodu City, Madiba, and Beyond Limits. So these are the 4 teams. So what's going to happen? They're going to play, and Inter Lagos, Ikorodu City, Madiba, and Beyond Limits. So let's take a look at how the matchups will be. All the teams playing in their conferences. Everything will be whittled down till you have a winner at the end of the day. Whoever wins in the Northern and whoever wins in the Southern will play against each other. And we're going to have, of course, we're going to be having a winner at the end of the day. So that's how it's going to be. Let's see if we can take a look at what's going to happen, the fixtures. Let's see if we can see the fixtures. Probably start with the Northern. There you have it. The first one, El Kanemi Warriors up against Nasarawa United, Sporting Supreme up against Sokoto United. These are the fixtures of day 1 in the Northern Conference. Let's flip quickly to look at the Southern Conference. There you have Beyond Limits up against Madiba, Ikorodu City up against Inter Lagos. All right, so these are the fixtures. Bolu, let me just quickly get your thoughts. And of course, I'm very sure they're going to prompt me if our guest is ready. But Bolu, your thoughts quickly on these fixtures. You've already tipped your hand about the Lagos teams, but of course they still have to play the games first. Okay, let me do a flip first on the not so good part so we can enjoy the very good. But I think I have a problem with the fixture congestion. For example, based on the fixture they showed us, Inter Lagos will play 5 p.m. on the 8th of June, then play the following morning by 8 a.m. It makes absolutely no sense. You can't even play PM the following day because it's too early. The past 6 we play for NPFL, we still complain despite having a day break. This one, they have probably just 8 hours of rest. I think that's too much. You will likely not get the best of football based on that. But I like that they want to conclude the season. They want to choose teams and they want to qualify. I think this other conference is fully packed for the Ikorodu City. Remember, we'll be talking about how important private ownership will be in the Nigerian football system. We see what Remo Stars are doing. We see what Sporting Lagos are doing. Ikorodu City started, I think, just 2 or 3 years ago.
Inter Lagos started last year, and both of them faced each other in the Lagos Federations Cup final. Beyond Limits are the Academy of Remo Stars. They've been doing so well. They played the Invitational abroad, and they win. Madiba as well. So when these guys come together, I wish 4 of them can qualify for the NPFL. Why?
But
because
unfortunately,
exactly. Unfortunately, it's only I think 2 of them we can pick from this conference. But it shows competition. It shows strength that we have in the southern. And for the northern side, we have 2 teams who were traditional teams in the NPFL. Talking about Nasarawa United and El Kanemi Warriors. They've been there, they've done that. Maybe their experience can come to play. But the other teams, Sporting Supreme and the likes, are not here to play. Anything you have to do, it's good to have support, it's good to talk tough, but you need to do the job on the field of play. If you don't do it, you just go back and start crying about officiating.
All right, all right. Let me yield to Austin quickly. Your thoughts on this one. We all know how important the NNL is. And some fans are already excited about these teams. Some fans are already talking about, oh, this is the one I want to be in the top flight. We're going to get 4, 2 from both conferences, and of course, a big game of football on our hands.
It's massive. I mean, interestingly, in England, we are also having that in the championship because teams are seeking promotion. We're having teams looking to go to the playoffs to also come into the Premier League. So I like that it's happening at the same time in Nigeria. So with the NNL, we know the story. It's regarded as the most important league in the country. And each time we have an opportunity to talk about it, we let administrators know that we cannot play with it. I'm excited about this one. I can't wait to see what the teams will do. Some competitive matchup, you know, in those fixtures. We just hope that logistics, management, and every other thing will give us the sort of football that I would like to see. You know what? Let's go to our Abuja studio. The head of media and publicity, Ama Ignis, for the Nigerian National League, is getting ready to join us on the program. Good evening, Ama. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Good evening.
Awesome. Good to have you on the show. And with the way you're sitting, I could tell you're feeling too relaxed, you know, that, oh, the NNL is doing just fine. What should we be expecting from the playoffs?
Well, as it is, we're excited, anxiously waiting for the playoff to kickstart at the Cathedral. You know, Cathedral is a holy place in the cool city. Of course, refurbished by the Enugu State government under Peter Mba. I think the teams are really excited. At the draw we had yesterday at the Secretariat of the Nigerian National League, they were all fully represented, eagerly, anxiously looking forward for the kickoff to take off. But interestingly, you know that we have El Kanemi Warrior, Old War Horse, I will call them. They all dropped from the Premiership, Nasarawa United. And for the first time, Sokoto, over 19 years, Sokoto United led to the playoff by one young coach, Mansour Abdullahi. They're all looking forward. And excitedly for me, privately owned clubs, Madiba, you have Beyond Limits, the younger team of Remo Stars. And of course, you won't take it away from Inter Lagos. From nowhere, they are there.
That's right.
And they say it's becoming a Lagos affair. And so, for me, I'm also excited that we've gotten to this point and everybody's looking forward to see what we have to offer at the playoff in Enugu.
Ama, this is serious business. Each time we speak to you, I remember the last time you were on the show, I questioned you about officiating. Now we cannot get it wrong. What are the plans in place to ensure that we have smooth football without hassles, without fights, and without any form of bias?
Yeah, Austin, the truth is that if you followed the NNL this season, because we just finished the regular season, you quite agree with me, apart from the incident in Jigawa, a match almost turned to volleyball or handball, the Nigerian Referees Football Association has done its best to ensure that prompt actions are taken. Of course, the referees have been banished, expelled. That has cut short their career as the umpires of the game. We've also seen players banished, and of course, some venues also banished by the management of the NNL board under George Alo. Those are steps taken to ensure that we'll get it right. But as we go into the Super 8. You know, it's going to be at the top level. It's going to be a neutral ground. A lot of people, a lot of eyes will be in Enugu to put the referees into another check. If you agree with me, the result of our away wins, you may think it's not an indices to judge the performance of the referees. Over 240 away wins, if we keep looking at out of 356 games played so far in the regular period. You'll agree with me that the referees have not fared badly. Yes, there are bad eggs among the referees, but we must give them kudos because the NNL on itself has paid all their indemnities. We didn't have stoppages that the NNL is owing the referees. You know, this was part of the downside we had in the last season. But as much as we crave for more support, that the indemnities of the referees are taken care of, I think we must say kudos. The NNL board has said it is not going to be practice as usual. If you have money to give to the referees, please give them, take care of the welfare of your players because it's a neutral ground. The games will be on TV, the games will be streamed, the games will be on radio. And so all eyes will be on the athletes who will be displaying.
I like everything you've said about that, Ama. We just hope that the NNL will work to put words to action. We'll come back to you. Just stay right there. We're still talking about the NNL Super 8 Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, more action from the NNL. I'll hand it over to the guys in Lagos and we'll get a conversation going. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at the Nigeria National League. That's the second-tier football division in Nigeria. You know, in England, it's the championship. In Nigeria, it's the NNL, the Nigeria National League. And we're getting ready to get 4 teams promoted to the Nigeria Premier Professional League. So we're waiting to see 8 teams competing at the Coast City in Enugu. And only 4 we get to qualify. Yemi and Bodu, you listen to Ama with the things he said about officiating and some of the away wins we saw during the regular season. I think we'll have an explosive action in the Super 8.
Obviously, well, let me call it an impression first. Every match day, the next day is a rest day. That is the arrangement of the fixture for the playoff. It is not that the next day they continue to play. There will be a rest day to allow the teams enough time to rest because it's not going to be easy. You know, the players are not machines. They need some water, they need some rest to recuperate, playing in the morning, in the afternoon, and every team plays at every other time. There's no particular team that is favored to play at any particular time. Like I said, it's going to be exciting. A lot is at stake. 4 tickets from the Northern Conference and Southern Conference of the Nigerian National League. And so it's either you see El Kanemi and Nasarawa qualifying or Sporting Lagos, one private club that is going places in the FCT. They took everybody by storm, getting perhaps the first away win in the league. We've seen teams fly in and fly out to their different match venues and to take us to where we are. Same we have also seen in Lagos, and of course in Ikenne, that has become the home of sports for Ogun State. So Austin, we're all excited. Everything is ready. Again, the logistics have been put in place. We are still praying that we'll get more supports, more people back in the league. Like I said, it's going to be, that is the hallmark of NNL. That is the actual showpiece for those who are unable to watch NNL during the regular season. And the very important thing for me is that these teams have very, very young coaches, except maybe for Nasarawa United and where you have El Kanemi, who are older coaches. But if you go to Sporting Supreme, you have Daniel Itodo. You go to Sokoto United, apart from Mansour Abdullahi, who seem to have a little squabble to settle with the management. They have introduced yet another younger coach, Peter. Same goes in beyond.
Let me butt in quickly.
So for me, it's exciting. And of course, I'm also excited, looking forward to seeing brand new football. The NNL has done its best to ensure that for all the teams coming, we have Pro Star and other supporters. They have special bibs and balls have been given to each of these teams to say, this is the way we want to flow. And the rules have been spelled out. For those teams who came for the draw, there was a technical meeting where we had the lectures, the things they are supposed to know before we go into the theater of the game, which is the cathedral, starting from the 7th through to the 14th of next month. So I think, Austin, again, I will hype it, I will echo it, I will say the NNL is set, the players are set, the coaches are set, and of course, we're all looking forward excitedly to this next round of NNL Super 8.
All right. It's good to have you, Amaiglis. I was trying to butt in, but you've probably answered some of the questions I was going to ask you. You've told us the start date, some of the things that will be done. But, you know, it's been a good season. The regular season was good, but a lot of people will look at the schedule, and some people will, you know, for instance, you're going to play in one venue. So all the matches, a lot of people talk about congestion, the quality of the playing tough, and some of those. I don't know if you agree with those who think some of those things might be an issue. The space, you know, to rest. You're playing every other day, you know, some of this. So how do you react to those two issues quickly?
All right, we have two venues in Enugu. Aside the cathedral, there is the temporary stadium in Enugu, where games that will be played on the final day will be played simultaneously. The Enugu, that's a temporary stadium. The same thing we did when we played the last time in Asaba. The final games were not played on one pitch. One game was played at, of course, J.J. Okocha's stadium in Ogwashiku. The other games were played at the Stephen Keshi Stadium. So the technical department under the secretariat manned by Dr. Ayu Abdurrahman has carefully taken all that into consideration. Again, Yemi, we do not play every other day. It's one day and one rest per day. This is to allow the players and the coaches and, of course, time to recover because it's going to be exhausting. Like you said, I agree with you. Physical exertion, enough time to recoup and recuperate. These are considerations already given, and that's the way it's going to be. The final games will be played at the same time. Of course, the game starts match day 1. There is a rest for the next day. Then the next day, the match day 2 will go on, just like that until we get to the final games.
All right, let me throw this one in before I yield to Austin as well. A lot of people, you're going to crown a winner at the end of the day. Most times, people shy away from answering this question. But on live TV, can you tell us what's going to be on offer for whoever turns out to be the champion?
All right. There is an unprecedented development in the most important league. We will not shy away from it. We have a token. It's never happened before. 5 million naira will be for grabs. One of our supporters says we have 5 million naira to give. More will come, maybe probably before or during the start of the Super 8. Whoever emerges champion, of course, automatically will be one of the teams to go to the early class, the Nigeria Premier Football League. We'll go home with 5 million naira. I think it's great. I think we just started small. I also heard my chairman, George Hallo, saying we could do more. We desire to do more. This is not our focus. This is not our target in terms of prize money. We have never given any prize money in NNL. All we had done in the past was we lift trophies, we hand over trophies to the winners and say congratulations, and then sign them on for the management of the Nigeria Premier League to take over. But we have 5 million naira for our would-be winners. It could be Ikorodu City, it could be Inter Lagos, Beyond Limits, Madiba. The Oshodi boys have done fantastically well. They kept on to the top position from the beginning to the end. And of course, same with Beyond, who kept close chase on them. Academy Warriors were the first to qualify in Group C. And of course, Nasarawa United. Very close battle they had with Wiki Torres of Bauchi, who narrowly missed it by whiskers. Of course, Sporting Supreme and Sokoto United proved that they were the best two teams in Group D. Of course, that conference was the first to also finish their match series in regular season. Fantastic period we've had. For me, I must confess, it's been one of the best seasons for me in the most important league. We are praying that perhaps the NFF can do more for us, look inwards to see how this league can further improve. That was why I was particularly delighted when Austin Eguavo was in the draw held at the NFF Secretariat. Garba Chindo Lawa was there, and of course, NFF president was also duly represented by, of course, Dan Lami Alanana, the national head of national competitions of the federation, with all the clubs, and of course, the chief scout of the NNL, Mr. Lekon Aleshe. They were all there to push and support what the NNL started. Garba will come and tell you, I started my football career in the NNL. It makes it more important for me when I hear utility player, an ex-Nigerian player that has given so much to the country, come out to say, this is not a league to joke with. It makes it more exciting. They've all promised to be in Enugu. So we're going to have a festival. We're going to have fun. And we're simply telling Nigerians in Enugu, the place to be when we start from morning till night, because there'll be performances, there'll be entertainment. You'll be entertained on the pitch. And of course, lots of fun will come. I'm not speaking loud, but that's the truth.
Yeah, Ama,
say something.
I know, I have to stop you because you are also a broadcaster before you think this is your show. Ama, you've done a good job. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to next month and the Super 8. All the best to your team. I pray you have a good show. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
A big thank you to Channels Television. You've always been there for us. I must say this. Whenever we knock at your doors, you're always seeing it as one of the duties you owe in developing sports in the country. Football, particularly this time, the most important league. Yet me, Austin, Irene, I hope I called that name well. Sometimes
Irene.
And of course, everyone that has been part of your sports crew at Channels. You guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ama Ignis. We appreciate your appreciation. That's it. We're getting ready for the NNL Super 8 next month in Enugu. Ama Ignis, head of publicity and media for the Nigerian National League, giving us everything to expect at the competition. In England, we're also having the Championship playoffs. Leeds currently schooling Norwich City. It's 4-0. Bolu, let me get you talking. Ama says he's excited about the NNL Super 8. Are you?
Very, very excited. Remember I mentioned one of the things you said earlier about the new clubs that are taking the league by storm. These are the kind of stories we want to hear. Everyone likes the Cinderella story. See what's happening in La Liga with Girona. We saw Leicester go on a crazy run. It will be interesting when these boys who people don't even think they can be good enough. I remember when Inter started and the owner was like, oh, we want to qualify for MPFL. That was his goal. And now it looks like it's coming to reality. We want and I like that he cleared in the air about playing every day. That even though a day break is not good enough water, but at least it's way better than playing 8 p.m. and playing 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. the following morning. I'm excited for the league to start. When it kicks off, obviously, but even if you can't get to watch in Enugu, you will follow, monitor. They said it will also be on radio, so we can always monitor. And I like that they are putting the officials in check. And he said one thing that in the regular season, they had lots of away wins. One of the challenges in Nigeria is away wins. You would hear things like, even if you are leading 3-0, the home team must have 2.5 penalties to make sure they qualify. But having loads of away wins just shows confidence that to an extent the fans understand that it's not a do or die affair. You win some, you draw some, and of course you lose some. So hopefully the Super 8 gives us the excitement we saw all through the regular season without drama. And by 14th of June, we'll know those who will join us in the Nigeria Premier Football League.
All right, interesting. Okay, let's switch gears now and go to Austin's end and spend a few minutes we have to talk about the English Premier League. And Bolu, I jokingly told a few friends, I said, I never thought it would get to a time I will see Manchester United, Chelsea, even Newcastle battle to get to play in what appears to be like the Conference League, because it looks like, I'm not sure, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. Did you ever think we'll ever have that kind of scenario?
Even at the start of this season, or the early part, it felt like Chelsea won't even make Europe at all.
Yeah.
But 4 straight wins and now they are battling. I think they're one of the best progress.
And you could say they've had a better season than United if United doesn't win the FA Cup.
It feels like they will make the Europa League. Because except United beat Man City in the final of the FA Cup, it feels like Chelsea will make it because Newcastle dropped as well. Focus is on the winning team, maybe between Man City and Arsenal, but the battle to finish, because Spurs have not even secured 5th place. If Spurs lose their final match day and Chelsea win their final match day, Chelsea can go above Spurs to finish 5th in the title. This is kind of battle we do. Sometimes everyone focus on the winning teams alone. There are some other battles you look out for, talking about making Europe. And like Riley said, 5 years ago, I don't think anyone would boldly say Chelsea, and you won't even say they will fight for Europa League. Not to talk of a new conference league. Now they are battling. I'm listening to some fans say they rather not go to Europe than to play. I said a lie. Roma celebrated that tournament like anything. It's because you don't win it. You think the earlier you realize you are not amongst the elite, the better for you. And now they are all hustling, battling to make that sport. I think I'm loving the hustle. I'm loving the battle. And the fact that 2 months ago, Chelsea was still being called 10th Avenue, 11th Avenue. Little by little, they are clipping out of it. They win 2 games, lose 1 and draw 1, win 1. And now 4 straight wins, they are 6th on the log. It's just a huge, huge interest.
All right. We'll talk about Chelsea had a win. Levy won, though, over Brighton, 2-1. It ended. Let's quickly listen to Mauricio Pochettino. What he has to say, then we'll take it off from there. Okay, probably we
4 games and a half in a, winning, because the second half we already won in Aston Villa. The game, 45 minutes plus 4 game winning. Yes, but now it's not changed my view in the way that we assess the player or we assess our work, in the way that we analyze, in the way that we play, and then I say, okay, we are winning. The difference is that we are matching now the performance, because the performance from the beginning of the season was good. But now we are winning games. Looks like, yes, we are so good. No, I think we are good, winning or losing, and the circumstances are there. And look, for sure, are people to consider and to analyze our job, and then I have 1 year more contract here. The problem is that we only analyze the result, always the result. You are good or you are bad only because of the result. And it's not like this, the football. When you need to build a project and you need to build a team, it's about the process, and to analyze more in a deep way. Okay, the result is there, but you can win or you can lose sometimes for different circumstances. But the problem is only we cannot go to the result. Of course, the result we all want to win, but in a circumstance that we were working, always you need to put in some aspect that we need to go with caution, in the way that we assess the situations.
All right, Mauricio Pochettino, the fans will tell you, forget about anything you're saying, it's the result. Let me yield to Austin. The jury is out. A lot of people are saying Mauricio Pochettino, Eric Ten Hag, probably might not. I don't know. We're not the owners of this club, but some of the fans, if they had their way, these 2 managers probably will not have a job at the end of the season. But your take, he's saying, look, focus on the performance. No Chelsea fan wants to focus on the performance. They rather focus on the result.
Yeah, the fans, they're always after the results. They just want to win. They don't want to know what's happening in the background. They don't consider injuries. Christopher Nkunku has been injured for how long? So he came back and he made a big impact. They don't want to know what's happening in terms of ownership and the kind of policies that, are being implemented in the club. The fans just want you to win. And that's why managing a football team, particularly an expensive one like Chelsea, is very, very difficult. I think they will risk Mauricio Pochettino one more time. They're giving it a strong finish. As I said, Chelsea, they were coming from a very bad brain surgery after that Ibrahimovic era. So people won't understand what they went through. We don't even know how they are struggling to balance the books with all of those purchases that they made. With these days that we're about financial fair play rules here and there, and catching up with a lot of big teams such as even Manchester City. They just want you to go out there and win. They don't understand that players need to have that synergy. There must be that blend. And Mauricio struggled with this Chelsea team when he didn't even expect to struggle with them. So when you have a striker like Jackson who is picking up very late, and you have a young Cole Palmer at 23 carrying the club on his shoulder, then it's difficult. But it is what it is. I'll keep referencing what Todd Boehly said the other day. He said that things are beginning to come together, and they're beginning to get it right, and the plans that they had back in the day, they can now see it's being actualized. I think based on those comments from the owner, they would want to stay with Mauricio Pochettino, build on the momentum, particularly if they truly finish above Manchester United. Look at where they are coming from. They would like it. I think last season was in the 12th they finished, so this is huge progress. They will keep getting better. If they can keep the players and they play according to the expectations, then Chelsea should be a team we all need to look out for. Let's go to the other side of Manchester. Manchester United, what a story. It's been a disaster. ETH and the Manchester United board, they didn't see this one coming, but then again, they should go back and review some of the decisions that they made in the boardroom. But he's proud of his team. I listened to that emotional speech he gave yesterday right after that important win over Newcastle, and he's been praising Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno is an important player in this team, and they will do everything to keep him because Eric Ten Hag is speaking about his influence. Let's listen to him, and then we'll get Bolu's views.
Maybe your interpretation, but as far as I know, everything I know from him, he loves Manchester United. He loves the fans from Manchester United, and he loves to play for Manchester United. And so that is all I know. And you see, he gives always his best, and he's an example. Even with injuries, he's playing, and he loves football. But yeah, he wants to win, and I think that is how I do describe his character. And I'm very pleased with his performance and performances across the season, because for him it's not easy when so many players are injured around him, and every time he has to carry the team. But then for him, he keeps in a good level, and I would say even in a high level. And especially in the spring, he grows to, I would say, to a brilliant level in the whole season. You have to say, for the fans, of course, it's a very difficult season, as for us. But one thing remained: they always stuck with us. They always kept with us, supporting us. So we are very pleased with that attitude of the fans. And you see the fans and the team, they are together.
So let's say some positive words from Eric Ten Hag as regards his Manchester United team after that 3-2 win over Newcastle. And Bolu, if you take a look at that win, the youngsters showed up for Manchester United. I think that's a glimmer of hope right there, don't you think so?
Yeah, Kobe Mainu, Amad Diallo, Rasmus Højlund as well. What you say about the fans? Or fans want him out of the club, and Bruno, I think Bruno's post-match interview says maybe a little bit different, talking about some people want him out and everything. But I'm sure they can't wait for the season to end, either they make it to Europe or not. If Ten Hag will be there for next season, they have to find a way to re-strategize. Now there are talks of they want to sign 1 or 2, 3 players, irrespective of what they do. The part I blame Ten Hag for in all these cases are the fact that he fights with a few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players and they're attacking here and there. But the season is done. Next year, if he remains, they need to find a working strategy, because obviously what they've done now is not working. They are worst the Premier League in about 60 years or thereabout. They need to find a way. We need Manchester United back at it, so hopefully they get it right for next season.
All right, hopefully they get it right. As much we can take, Austin, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go. That championship playoff game between Leeds United and Norwich City is still 4-0 in favor of Leeds. We'll find out the teams that will join Leicester City in the English Premier League. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, in Lagos, we're about to go, but I want to thank Bolu Money for his time on the show today.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure being here.
All right, that's the show today. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye.